So I learned that growing up, and I didn't realize that I missed that out of a partner.
We're in bed answering emails. Like, that's not healthy. And that was her calling that out. Super thankful for that.
And I basically put a camera in his hands, and I was like, there's a lot of tutorials online. You can learn how to use this if you want.
Now give me something.
See, it is a fan.
All I have to do is read. All I have to do is read.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Couple Things,
With Shawn and Andrew.
a podcast all about couples and the things they go through.
We are so excited for today's episode. We're sitting down with our friends Madilyn Bailey and Jimmy Benrud, who we've known for about 4 years.
About 4 years. They are the coolest people, the coolest couple. They are married and far more talented than,
Yes.
everyone.
So you may be familiar with Madilyn from YouTube. She has over 7 million subscribers, and some of her songs have over 250 million views.
She is a singer with the voice of an angel.
She has sold out shows all around the world and is an extremely talented artist. Jimmy has been an integral part of her success. In today's episode, we talk about what their teamwork looks like, and it parallels ours a lot.
Without further ado, our interview with Madilyn and Jimmy. Please, if you guys haven't, check both of them out. Follow Madilyn. Get ready for some amazing music. She even wrote a song while she was at our house.
Yeah.
But a lot of her original songs are getting ready to drop. So.
Yeah. So if you want to learn more about them, you can find them in the show notes down below. And let's jump into this one with Maddie and Jimmy. Madilyn and Jimmy, thank you for joining us today. I just have to start by saying every time we spend time with you guys, it's like so much fun. So thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
It makes us really miss LA.
We miss you.
We miss all of
LA
our friends
misses
in
you.
LA.
We've known each other for what, 3 years now? 4 years
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
It all started in an escape game, correct?
It did.
Yes.
And I think we
Hollywood
lost.
horror.
Yeah, that's right.
Did we get out?
You know what?
Yeah.
With that team, we
Which
had
one
to
was
have.
We definitely did. It was
Yeah.
the zombie one, right? The one with not the zombie one, but the one with an actress in it. In the room.
Yes.
Oh, I hated that
The
one so
actress
much.
was,
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did not know she was there until she jumped out at you.
She was hiding.
How
in
did
the
that one
corner.
end? I can't picture how that one ends.
It was not the circus. It was daycare.
It was daycare. Yeah.
They have way
Did
better
you guys do the
memories than
ones
me.
where it ends in like the trays?
That was in
No.
DC.
I don't know.
That was in DC.
Oh.
You're getting your escape games mixed up.
Yeah.
I want to tell you guys a story.
Okay.
A young girl with a budding career from a Midwest town grows up, meets a strapping, handsome young lad, and they support that girl's career. Who does that story apply to?
Them.
Both of us, I think, except for the strapping part. For me.
Strapping part.
Strappingly handsome.
Why? Okay. Again. Okay, we've been talking about this for the past now 48 hours. Both of our husbands do this like self-deprecating thing. They're like, oh, I'm not talented. Oh, I'm not handsome. Oh, I'm terrible. Stop it.
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
guys are amazing.
We're just brutally honest.
No,
I think
you're
we
brutally
both are-
dishonest.
We're both very, very aware that what we're doing is not possible without you.
Yes.
So the fact that you guys don't fully, we fully appreciate it is what I'm trying to say. I don't know
Yes.
that you guys fully appreciate it, but we fully appreciate it.
I think we connect with you guys so well because we do share. It's like a pretty similar situation.
Yeah.
You started your career singing when you were how old?
Well, I posted my first video on YouTube in 2009.
Wow.
But I was singing before then and playing at local coffee shops and writing songs maybe 5 years before that even. So
Wow.
If you guys haven't heard her, by the way, she's probably the best singer in the world. She just like sings around the house. I'm like, can you just do this forever?
Thank you. It's not true. I'm not the best vocalist ever, but
And I secretly still want to like bring Drew up here, just have you sing to her, just to
Oh
see
no,
what.
that's gonna happen later. That's my Instagram.
yeah, it was
video
for
I
TikTok.
cannot wait.
I don't
We're making that
want to
TikTok.
mess with TikTok.
I want
I'm
you to
over
mess
it.
with TikTok. I want you to put it on TikTok. Listen, I need you to help me. Come on.
Maddie just wrote a song in about 15
I'm almost 2
minutes.
million followers on TikTok, so I'm like,
She's
holy
TikTok
crap.
famous
so I'm
now.
like, you know what I mean? I'm like, let's do it.
I had like 200,000.
TikTok is so funny because
I
I
hate
feel like I
TikTok.
never take it fully seriously, but it's just like it's just a lot of fun. I don't know. I feel like I'm way too old to be
just
on there,
disagree.
but
Still
it's
don't
really
get
fun.
it.
Couldn't
I feel
disagree
like it's
more.
a fast track to adult ADHD. Am I right? Like,
Very
it's
true.
like, and then 2 hours later, you're still doing that.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Very true.
That's nuts.
Okay. First, how did you guys meet? Since it's the show of couples, we have to know.
Yeah.
So, in my town of Wisconsin, Jimmy's sister-in-law, Siri, she took my pictures for my music, and she'd been doing that for a couple of years, and she'd been kind of trying to set me up with Jimmy for like 2 years. And there was just one point over Christmas break where I was single at the same time that he was single, and she set us up on a blind date together. Our first date was at Applebee's.
Half off app. Shout out Applebee's.
That was actually a classy place in our town. If it shows you anything about
Hey,
like where we're from.
We're from the Midwest too. Applebee's was the
yeah,
place to
it's
go.
the bomb. Yeah.
And no, this is not an ad, guys. Applebee's was just the place to go.
Madilyn said there's more cows than humans in their town, though.
In my hometown, yeah, cool, because there's only 1,000 people in Boyceville. There's far more than 1,000 cows in Boyceville.
Wow.
How often do you go back to Boyceville?
A couple times a year, maybe 3. 3 feels like a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went on this first date.
Yes.
We kind of got the lowdown a little bit last night. You don't have to share all the dirt, but I would like to see how the relationship grew and progressed from there.
Yeah, so our first date was actually like a trifecta date. So we went to Applebee's. It was great. Lava cake. And then we went to a movie. gotta highlight the lava cake. Then we went to a movie. We went to The Hobbit. And then we went back to
Longest movie in history.
so long. But we kind of chatted throughout it. So it wasn't
Okay.
like this like awkward thing.
Yeah.
We're just sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
But we weren't that obnoxious couple talking in the
I was about to say, you
theater,
guys
you know what I
talk in
mean?
movies? What the
Just
heck?
like little,
I love
just
talking
like
through
little.
Seriously?
Oh, I love it.
We're like-
I'll even pause a movie at a spot if I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so profound, or I love this part. I'll pause it and like talk and then
You do that all the time.
I don't like it though. I don't like it.
Okay, I love it.
So we were like analyzing it, I guess, and then we went back to my house on the very first date.
Yeah, so I met his parents
Crazy.
on the first date.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was holding.
Did you know already that you're going to marry this girl? Is that why?
Pretty much. I mean, it was
Oh,
like it
that
didn't
was
need to go. I mean, three dates in one is kind of crazy, isn't it? But yeah, so we went back to my place and my parents' place, and my dad was standing in the kitchen holding a piece of Swiss cheese, looking at us through the hole in it.
Okay.
So
holding up,
Okay.
just to give you an idea of what kind of character he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a nice welcome to the fam.
Yep. Then we watched Duck Dynasty and played foosball,
You
Yeah.
have such a
which I kicked your butt at.
It was a fun.
He's glazing over this.
Wait, how
Kicked
many
his butt
years
at
ago was
foosball.
this?
We don't need to talk about
I'm
that
so
part.
good at foosball.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I have no coordination when it comes to foosball. I
So
can't
good.
figure out how to like.
There's a lot happening.
First of all, based on your form, what I just saw, you're
yeah,
that is so bad right there.
that was pretty bad.
Oh my god.
I'm not even kidding. The ball will be in the goal before I even get my hand on the right nozzle thing to like maybe no.
Yeah.
I'm like 5 minutes delayed on that game.
What year did you guys start dating?
Oh, 2012. Very end of 2012. Yeah.
You guys have a very vivid memory for that many
I
years
don't
ago.
remember our first date.
I
like
just
that.
know it was my
Excuse me.
sophomore year of college, like halfway through winter
Well,
break.
we did shortly after that. We made a video telling our dating story, and we like
Yeah.
reenacted it for the video.
Went back to Applebee's, got some lava cake.
Oh my
But actually, for the video, we like took them
Do you,
through
like,
what our first date looked
Go
like.
back to Applebee's every year now for your anniversary.
No,
We definitely
no.
should.
For your 10-year
Definitely.
anniversary is what you should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
or like maybe we'd go to like Bali for our 10-year. I don't think Applebee's is in Bali.
Yeah, true.
You know.
So, how long after you dated did you propose?
That had just over a year. It was actually on Valentine's
What?
Day because, yeah,
he
I did.
he needs events to make events.
I was.
He's not somebody who can just be like, I'm going to propose when I want to on a Tuesday. No, he needs like it to be Valentine's Day. That's when I'm proposing. That's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, it's
I do
pretty
nice
cle-
things on her birthday. You know what I mean?
I do nice things other days. Let's come on.
Holidays, birthdays.
I'm gonna give her a card today. No, I gotta wait a year. I need to
Yep.
wait for the next
Exactly.
birthday. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. You are kind of a structured guy. I interviewed Jimmy on my podcast, Redirected. That was like a year and a half ago. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
And we talked about how you were in pre-med.
Yeah.
Which
Totally forgot about this.
This guy's a genius right in front of us.
Not a genius.
Okay. No, he's has no talent whatsoever, as he would say.
Yeah.
It's actually comical. Hold the phone. We have an MBA from Vanderbilt. We have a pre-med guy, and they both are like, we're not smart.
Here's the thing. Our whole life is just supporting you two in your careers, I feel like.
But it's not.
You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Well, but I think
the conversations are all about
it's rewarding.
But hasn't it become a part of what you're doing, though?
I'm not saying it's not great and we're not good at what we do, but it is all about you guys and it's fantastic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would argue, and you guys might be different because it is music and you're creating music. But for us, it's weird to say this out loud, but like my face has become a brand and you utilize that brand. Like, not in a weird way, but it's like a business that you manage. So
that's where it gets difficult. And that's where
so
like
difficult.
we can relate with you guys so well. Like not only our background, but like what we're doing now. It's like the separation of work, your work life and like your family life. Mm-hmm. And like where does that cross? Especially for you guys.
Well,
because your family life is your work life.
And to like paint the picture for everyone about the guys, the husbands. You guys are incredible businessmen. So if you just have some random person that you're managing a talent, it's your job to like creatively paint out the trajectory of their business. And you have to think of them almost as like, I don't want to say a prop, but a prop. Now add into that the confusion and like the dynamic of it's your wife.
That makes it sound really nasty.
I know it sounds nasty, but it's not, because we've all figured out how to do it in a way that we both love and respect. Like I respect you, you respect me, and vice versa. It's just that's how complicated it is. Because you as husbands have to manage a business. We have to be talent and like creative, and figuring out a way for both those to mesh with husband and wife, now mom and dad, is insane.
Have you guys proactively had conversations? Like, did you guys think through like, okay, this is going to be the effect of us working together and like, this is how we can structure it to like make it healthy still? Or did it just, for us, it just kind of like happened. I didn't have a job, so I started making YouTube videos, and then we've tried to like catch up and create safeguards around that. But
yeah, I think like I would have been okay with Jimmy having gone on to school and done what he wanted to do. But I did always have this like little hope that he would rather work with me. And so when he had an opportunity to have a year off between going to med school and when he graduated, and so he came to live with me in LA. We were married at that time, but he came to live in LA with me, and I basically put a camera in his hands and I was like, there's a lot of tutorials online. You could learn how to use this if you want. And he did. And he learned how to film, and he learned how to edit, and he learned how to color. He learned, like, he taught himself everything. And it made my life so much easier, because up until then I was doing all the filming and editing and coloring. And so it just like took that off my plate, and I don't even think about that anymore, which is so cool. But he taught himself that. He hadn't ever touched a camera, at least with me. Like, I knew YouTube was what I wanted to do, and I'd been doing it for years and figuring it out. But we live in this like really cool era of like, if there's anything you want to learn how to do, you can. And that's like my all-time favorite piece of like YouTube and where we're at. Like, I learned how to put on makeup because of YouTube tutorials. He learned how to film a video because of YouTube tutorials. And now if I want to learn how to play harp, I can learn that on YouTube.
Barber.
I love Maddie is like, she's like so meek and chill most of the time, but then we get little glimpses of like,
I love it.
put a camera in his hand and said,
She's
learn
very
it.
fiery side, and
She's
it's my
very
favorite.
fiery, and it's inspiring.
This morning we were working out, and at the end she was getting all hyped up about Jimmy not being confident enough, and she was like, you just gotta believe that you could do it, and you could do it.
No,
and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pumped up.
I'm just like, but I didn't think this was a real thing. But when you actually say, it's not like it's more than a positive affirmation. But it's like when I tell myself I am somebody who writes hit songs. I haven't written a hit song yet, right? Technically, But when I tell myself I'm somebody who writes hit songs, I suddenly start behaving like somebody who writes hit songs. And what does that behavior look like? I'm writing every single day. I'm challenging myself. I'm listening to new music. I'm reading books. I'm doing all the things that I know are going to make me a hit songwriter. But you have to tell yourself you're that before you're there. Because if you don't even believe it, how are you ever going to get there?
I mean, it goes even further than that. If you don't believe it, then you don't believe you should be in a room with certain people, and you don't believe you deserve to go to certain events or get certain opportunities. It can ruin your career.
I don't want to. That's dope. We should just cut that out and make that a podcast in and of itself. You guys are like more in the limelight though. You've had more of that like momentum of success. You know what I'm saying? For like Jimmy and I, it's just like we almost have to be more humble, I feel like. Or it is humbling experience. Does that make sense? I'm not saying I'm like super humble, but it's like it's my job to like put myself second behind you. Nobody cares about freaking. We were just in New York and it was like, hey, we're here to interview Shawn. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's how it should be. But there's still part of me that's like, gotta check my confidence, you know? Does that make sense? So I gotta decrease my confidence.
I understand where that thought comes from, but I think that in the same way that maybe you see, I don't see how you see yourself as like second to it, because I don't see, like with Jimmy, it's like, sure, I'm the one being interviewed, but like he's the one I talk through all these questions with beforehand, and like helps me figure out the answers and how to communicate well. Like I'm not the greatest at communicating in conversation, which might seem strange to you because we have great conversations. But like, I guess what I'm saying is like, I feel like the best things I'll ever say are in my songs. And so like, if I want someone to know something about me, I just want to sing them a song. Like, I feel like that speaks about me best and like the things I want to say. But this guy can have conversations with anybody at any time, and he's so invested, and people just love him. And that's such a cool ability. I don't have that ability.
Yeah.
I would also say too, speaking about like the limelight versus your guys', I don't think you have to take any confidence away, because my career would not exist without you right now. Not at all. And people would argue like, oh, Olympics, whatever. No. That relevance ship has sailed. Every 4 years, that relevance like moves on to the next girl. So like the Olympics are gone, and I've maintained a career within my brand of my face pretty much because of what you've created. So yes, people, like when we were in New York, I walk into a room and they're like, oh, we want to interview Shawn. That's your doing.
Andrew, you're awesome.
You too, bro.
It
reveals selfishness that I have that thought that like I should be interviewed too.
I think that's completely normal though.
Am I?
We all grew up in Midwest towns.
I don't want to speak for you. So am I verbalizing anything that you relate to?
No, not. Yes, you are. No, you're not speaking for me.
Actually,
you're not speaking for me. No, but at the same time, obviously, like we're incredibly, incredibly proud of everything.
No doubt.
Yeah, like. But I do, I mean, we all have those thoughts and whatever goes on.
I mean, the thing is, I don't even know that I should be interviewed. When somebody wants to interview me, I don't even know that, like, I think I should do that. Like, I don't know why anybody wants to talk to me most of the time.
I will say, though, like, recently we've...
Same.
I'm like, I'm just a person. I happen to sing and I happen to write songs, but I am just, I don't know.
If you think about the big picture, though, all of these characters that you see being interviewed, so actresses, singers, dancers, athletes, whatever, famous people, you're interviewing them, but it's a team who made them. Yeah. Yes, they have a talent, absolutely. But that talent would be nothing without the team. It's just, we live in a culture where the team isn't the one who does the interview. But if you actually watch that interview and you know how it works, you know they're not saying anything that hasn't been put through a media circuit or a press circuit. You know they're not wearing clothes that weren't okayed by a stylist. And, you know, their business team is watching from a different state. And, I mean, it's a village. And it's almost, it's different.
And also the ability to stay organized, too. Like, I just don't have that. Like, if I didn't have people like helping me with emails and scheduling things in my calendar and reminding me that when you'd go to a different time zone, everything in your calendar shifts. Like, what do I even do? I would lose my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're about to drop a bomb.
Oh, well, I was just saying, like, to go back to like the original question, like, how do we balance work and life? I think originally it did start like just naturally, and then we obviously ran into some walls where like, hey, we're answering emails at 9:30, we're in bed answering emails, like that's not healthy. And that was her calling that out. Super thankful for that, because I'm like a workaholic. We both are, really. But like to have that kind of recognition and like just understanding of like the situation, and there's greater things happening than just answering an email that could be easily answered tomorrow.
100%. Yeah.
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 So,
I often
we set
tell him,
times.
I'm like, will the world end if we don't answer this tonight? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay.
I should start
That's your
asking
answer.
you that.
Wait, I want you to share what your structure is that you have throughout the day.
You mean the alarms that I have set in my phone? One might go off.
They're
No,
more for me,
I'm
I
just-
feel like, than they are for
Well,
her.
I'm just like, I'll start writing a song, and then that's just what I'll be doing for the next 8 hours if an alarm doesn't go off and to remind me to eat food and like work out. And so I literally have from 6 a.m. when I wake up till 7 p.m. I have alarms that tell me to water my plants and check emails. And I have like, we have at 7:30, the alarm goes off. That's the last alarm. It goes off and it says, this is your last, I call it check-in, but it's like the last opportunity. If you have an email that we have to answer tonight, this is the time.
I
Super
really want to
helpful.
start doing that.
I like
Super
that.
helpful. And she uses a little emoji too. It's the like envelope with the heart on it.
Oh, cute.
So it's super adorbs.
Adorbs.
It's cool. I am super thankful. I feel like every couple is a team, obviously, and there's like so many tasks that need to be divided, whether it's house chores or like things with the kids, if you have kids. For us, it does complicate things because there's a bigger task list because work is involved, but I feel like it's forced us to really appreciate one person's strengths and the others, and like depend on the other person, which is good in all areas. Like us working together, I think, has made us better for house chores and better with Drew. And
Absolutely, because I don't know about you guys, but when we started working together, it was the same way. You start working together and it's perfect. Then you get a little deeper and all hell breaks loose pretty much, because you figure out you have different styles. You're better at certain things. I knew for me, I had never like worked with you before or a significant other. So I was full control. I controlled everything, and trying to figure out how to let go of the reins and to have someone else take a directive and a creative role and kind of take that career and path somewhere else that I had never envisioned was terrifying. So we would get in arguments, and then trying to figure out at the end of the day, how do you turn off work partners and become husband and wife again and put all that behind you, and then all of a sudden just be like, oh, babe, I just want to cuddle, is so difficult.
Yeah,
And
that's real.
we ended up implementing our structure was we used to work on our main level of our house. So down in the living room, Lexi knows this, and it was just utter chaos. But when work was done, all of that stuff would still be sitting around, and we could never get past it. And so I ended up moving everything up to our upstairs. And I'm like, when work is done, you go downstairs and you can't go back upstairs.
because and you guys have done this like really well, where first of all, the honesty and Madilyn saying, hey, I need a cutoff point is
Love it.
huge. Like, I feel like some people harbor that and they just like let it fester and it ends up bad. But then having a third party who almost holds you accountable, whether that's like removing the physical stuff that's directly in front of me, so I can't like look at my computer and want to go edit a video, or have an alarm that signals it's done. I think that's really good just to have that.
Are there any structures that aren't in place yet, or you haven't put in place that you want?
Actually, yes.
Here we go.
She just showed me this book, and we're both reading it simultaneously. But essentially, it's what's it called?
Getting things done.
Getting things done.
It's a
And
classic.
there's a couple things, and we're working on the first thing. It's called the 2-minute rule. So if anything takes 2 minutes
Or less.
just do it.
The second you think about it.
Just do it.
Interesting.
So if you need to like load the dishwasher, it's gonna take you less than 2 minutes. Just do it. Now it's not
Wow.
on your brain anymore. if you need to take out the trash, if it's answering a really quick email. But obviously you have your cutoffs. And then the other one is like an in tray, out tray of ideas and things that will take long, but not just that idea or action not just idea, but the action you have to take immediately next to achieve your goal, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think like a big, and obviously we're still working on this, but like the thing we would fight about the most is, sorry, Jimmy bringing up things at inappropriate
Still
times,
do
just
it.
times where I'm not right, just
I
don't want to
still
talk
do it.
about it. But it's because
We the same, Brad.
it'll like
Yeah.
it'll pop into his head while we're eating dinner, and he'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I just remembered there's this huge email thing that you need to reply to," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
It
what?"
comes
Like,
from a place of passion.
I know, but
But-
I'm like, I literally have food in my mouth. I'm not gonna like, I can't help you right now. I'm not in a place. So I think like what this helps us with is when like writing down literally everything that you need yourself to do, like it frees my brain from having to think about it. And then when like in your calendar, when the alarm goes off and you're like, it's time to answer emails, then all of those lists of emails that you've just said, I need to reply to these people, you can just pull that up and you can just check all those off at the same time.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's really hard to make that a habit, though, I feel like.
It is, but I've become so much less stressed that like I will do anything to maintain that.
Well, you have to, and people might be confused why we become so OCD about structures. But when your house becomes your work, if you don't have those structures in place, you can't keep a relationship because you work and live in the same place.
Yeah.
So there's no way to turn it off unless you force it to be turned off. And yeah, we're still working on it.
It's funny. So we've known each other for years, and I love that because we've each grown and learned new things along the way. When we first met you, you guys were big into the streaming, which video game, like, again, what we do is so weird because singing, you're thinking about it all the time because you love it and like it's your job. But then video, like people play video games at home casually, but for you guys, for like a year and a half, 2 years, it was freaking work. And you guys were streaming for 8 hours a day.
Sometimes.
Yeah, a couple times a week, and we'd bring our gear everywhere. Like,
I remember when you brought it to Big Bear.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And set up in the garage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you wouldn't even
Yeah.
go to the bathroom. It was like it was nuts. But I don't know why I brought that up. It was just like the work ethic is insane. It's also cool. You mentioned you feel less stressed. As we have grown and done this longer, you realize like ways to de-stress and help each other de-stress. So it's just cool. Like, I feel like you guys I'm glad you didn't bring the video game setup, here. So we can hang out last night.
me too.
But
Yeah, no, we're doing that less now.
Okay, are you ready for the big question that we hinted
Oh, okay,
towards
sure.
earlier?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
I think so.
Okay, who wants to go first? Maddie?
Me? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you most love about Jimmy?
Oh.
Was that like a sigh of relief, Jimmy? You're like,
Yeah, because I have a word instantly. Do you want me to go?
No,
Yeah.
no, I know. I'm forming it.
she's gonna say
I
something.
like that
really artsy.
he can be very serious and very intense, and I tend to forget to enjoy life, and Jimmy reminds me to enjoy life. Like I just look at his face, and he's he can be serious, but you're mostly
look
pretty
funny.
You're mostly lighthearted. You try to keep things light. But like I just look at his face, and I'm like, yeah, I think we just need to like enjoy each other's company and enjoy where we're at, and yeah, there's something about you that brings like a lightness to my intense nature. So
Wow.
that's really sweet. Okay, Jimmy.
And I would say integrity. Integrity is the word. Yeah, it has to do with every single way that you live your life and everything. I don't think there's a stronger thing than that. Like our relationship, your work, your family life, everything. You expect the most, but you give the most. So
See why we wanted to wait to tell you the question?
Can I share something about? I want to start this. I want to start saying something about you that I love every time.
No.
Do it.
Your perspective, I feel like, is so awesome, and it's so much different than mine, but it's so much wiser, and it blows me away every time.
Thank you.
Wow, you're freaking wise woman.
Thank you.
Now give me something that you.
See, it is a fan.
You are the most amazing father I've ever seen.
Really?
And it's the most attractive thing in the world.
It was funny. Maddie and Jimmy. So Madilyn and Jimmy came to town for the baby shower. 4 months later, they come back and meet Drew for the first time.
Yeah.
And they're holding the baby each independently. And Madilyn was like, "Oh my gosh, Jimmy, you holding the baby is super attractive."
It is.
It was. Well, I've just never seen him hold a baby. I don't like, because I think maybe your nieces and nephews, you held them when they were babies, but I've never seen you hold a baby. And I was like, oh my
And
God.
seeing a guy like make faces at a baby and like trying to make him laugh. Like, yeah.
Drew's a good baby.
Yeah,
She's the best
She's a
baby.
good baby.
We think she's pretty cool. Let's take a quick pause and hear from our sponsors.
When you're selling online like we do with both our family honey and our merch line, getting our orders out can be a real pain. How do you keep track of who gets what? Which shipping carrier should you use? Are you getting the best rates? It all gets to be really tricky and overcomplicates the whole process.
We actually started using ShipStation.com, and it's seriously the fastest, easiest, and quickest, most affordable way to manage and ship our orders. Just a few clicks, and you'll be managing your orders, printing out labels, and getting your product out fast to keep your customers happy. ShipStation makes it easy.
Like we said, shipping was super complicated before we started using ShipStation, and now it's all in one place and helps us to manage the orders.
And it helps us get our orders out quickly, which means we get you guys your stuff quicker.
Right now, a couple of things listeners can try ShipStation free for 60 days when you use our offer code EastFam. There's absolutely no risk, and you can start your free trial without even entering your credit card info. Just visit ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in EastFam. That's ShipStation.com, then enter offer code EastFam. ShipStation.com. Make ship happen.
So for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you are going to see us sitting in these beautiful, plush, comfortable new chairs. I'm obsessed with them. We wanted each of our guests to have their own chairs, and our good friends at Article helped us out with that.
I do have to say, these chairs are super comfortable, and I feel like we look pretty legit too.
You guys need to keep your eyes peeled and your Instagram open for sneak peeks of Article's latest sales.
To be fair, Article always has fair prices, and you can save up to 30% over traditional retail prices.
Yes, Article keeps their prices low by cutting out the middleman and selling directly to you. No showrooms, no salespeople, no retail markups.
Guys, I've been sitting in this chair for like a half hour now, and I can't tell you how high quality the materials are. They're super durable, fashionable. I love it.
Article is offering our listeners $50 off their first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/EastFam, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/EastFam to get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. So I posted about this company called Rothy's a few months ago and spoke about how comfortable and stylish the shoes were. And since then, I've gotten so many people asking me about them and complimenting me on them. They're seriously my favorite shoes that I own, and I think I've bought 10 pairs.
You've gotten so many pairs, and I've never heard you talk about a shoe like you talk
I mean,
about
they're
Rothy's.
stylish, they're sustainable, they're comfortable, washable, really. Like all in one pair of shoes, and they're made from recycled water bottles. I have a few of their sneaker shoes, and I can promise you guys that I'm in them as much as I can possibly be. They also launch new colors and patterns every few weeks, and they're constantly selling out.
I actually really love how they're made out of repurposed plastic water bottles. I think that's pretty cool.
Plus, Rothy's always comes with free shipping and free returns and exchanges. No risk, no worries, no reason not to try. Check out all of the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/couple. Go to rothys.com. That's ROTHYS.com/couple to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/couple today. Okay, here's another one. We didn't prep you for this one either.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Jimmy, you have to go first this time.
Oh, man.
What's your biggest pet peeve with each other?
Where to begin? You first.
And there's no cop out. There's no like, oh, they're perfect.
Oh,
no, they're not.
I've got mine.
Oh,
Everyone's got pet peeves.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a really organized person.
Okay.
Madilyn, not so much. And
Okay.
it's tough for me to live in like a disorganized place. So if there's dishes and there's garbage and there's you're using a plate, but you don't put it in the dishwasher after you use
anywhere
it.
and everywhere. Yeah, like literally, you showed me your notes and they're written on a piece of paper towel. Literally me.
But
we were playing code names last night where you have to like lay out five
Jimmy, we're
by
the same.
5 cards.
I mean, I do that.
And I laid them out, and then Jimmy reorganized them to make them.
They were such a mess.
I know.
Yes.
Andrew's way of like playing with anything is like throw it. You do this thing. You do this thing.
Hey, you asked him the question.
Nope. I have to throw this one out there.
This is not us.
He does this thing, and I keep calling him out on it, and he laughs because he doesn't even notice. Where he'll grab a paper towel, use it, wad it up, and just throw it in any random direction.
No, it's for planet. It's for sustainability. I don't want to throw away.
Because I want to use it again in a little
Exactly.
bit.
No.
Nice.
Okay.
I will watch.
I will use that one paper towel all day and then maybe the next day.
Yeah, but she keeps throwing mine away.
Or I'll put it on the counter.
On the counter.
Close to the trash can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you
Or
not put it
there's
in
a
the
third
trash can?
option. She'll aim for the trash can, clearly misses it
And
because
leaves
she's
it.
not. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I don't
That
get it.
I don't love. I've learned to not take the other stuff personal because she doesn't mean to leave the kitchen cabinet door open or like
Oh my gosh. You guys are the same
dishes
person.
out.
That is pretty freaky. So far, all the pet peeves have applied to me so far.
She's also becoming more organized.
We have had
I don't
this-
want
we
to take
have
her
had this-
creativity away, but
the 2-minute rule has been helping me a lot, like an extreme amount. It really has. If it takes me 2 minutes to pick it up, I'll pick it up. If it's more than 2 minutes, I'll leave it for Jimmy to do later.
But when you walk around the house and you're just picking up paper towels everywhere, I'm like, you didn't reuse them, obviously.
We're talking like 2. We're talking like 2 paper towels max.
okay.
I was reading a book called The 30 Lessons.
She has to do hers.
Sorry, please go ahead.
No. Go with 30 lessons. I'm thinking. I have my
30 Lessons for Living. 30 Lessons for Love. This guy also wrote a book called 30 Lessons for Living. He interviews like 1,000 people who are 65 or older, married couples, and like gets their tips and tricks on how to make it work. And one of the things was, if it doesn't matter when you're 80 years old, like people have different styles, so don't fight over everything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's such an, not that that's like a serious argument, but realize like what's really important and what's not. You know what I'm saying?
So Jimmy, that means we're going to be picking up paper towels till we're 80.
My back's gonna hurt.
Okay, Maddie.
Okay. There's a lot.
Whoa.
But I'll just pick a few. Maybe you just want. I'll pick
I'm
one.
gonna slap you.
The most recent, the newest pet peeve that's been driving me insane is his inability to sit and have a conversation for longer than 5 to 20 minutes. That like 20, if I can get him for 20 minutes, that's a good day. It's a good conversation. But he like can't help. Like he will literally flutter around the kitchen, organizing things. Like you said, like the board. He'll be putting things while we're talking, and I can't handle it. I'm like, you need to look at me when I'm talking to you. Like I like he's like, well, but I'm listening, and I'm like, your body language says 90% of what you need to say. But so if you're not looking at me, I don't believe you're listening to me. And so it just drives me absolutely insane. He'll be like putting things away, putting dishes away, washing the counter, just anything, playing with the dogs, anything. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, 20 minutes. Stay focused.
I don't know if Jimmy's like this, but Shawn, when she's upset at me, no eye contact, same thing. She won't pay attention to me, and she'll clean. She like gets in this organization mode.
Maybe it's just me stressing you out, and you're like, oh, anxiety.
Part
to
of
wash
it is
the counter.
honestly realizing how much stuff there is to do. Mm-hmm. That's a terrible excuse, but
Here's what's cool about you two. So you're both so intriguing to me because you have so many different levels of interests. You're like super into nutrition and physiology. I feel like she gave us like a 15-minute discourse on, I don't even know what the frig it was about last night.
It was amazing.
It was great, but she was so passionate about it.
We were talking about addiction.
Yeah.
Which was,
that's
right.
right.
Fascinating. But
Sorry for forgetting. But you were vegan. Do you talk openly about that?
Sure.
No,
yeah.
I
No,
just
I mean,
briefly
I
learned
haven't had opportunities to, but yeah, I mean, I talk about it a little
for
on
like
social media.
4 years, 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
Here's what's cool though. You guys both grew up in Wisconsin, moved to LA, way different vibe. You probably don't know anyone from your upbringing that does something similar to what you do. nor you.
No.
But you've conquered all these things as a team, including these different interests, whether that's I'm sure you guys had these conversations, but it's like, okay, we're going to be vegan, and then we're going to do whatever. I feel like you guys actually try out different things and see what works, but I love how much support there is. And this is way different than anything we are familiar with from our upbringing, but we're doing it together, and that's what matters. So
it's pretty fun, honestly. Yeah.
It is fun. I mean, I think that's something cool about the two of us is like when we try something, we don't just like, it isn't all those half-hearted things.
yeah,
It's like we really do it so we can try to understand it and see if it works. And, and I still apply a lot of what I've taken away from being vegan to like what I'm doing now. But I think like the whole start with like experimenting with being vegan was not necessarily the moral side of it, which came later into the journey, but like more that I just have terrible digestion. And so I've just been like on a mission to figure out how I can live my life the best I can. Because it's, and like when you eat something that, like for example, lactose, it just ruins your day the next day. It just does. It's just
why'd
like,
you have to share that with everyone?
Andrew is lactose intolerant, everyone. He still believes he's not, but it's like
a milkshake will tell me differently.
oh yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
a piece of cheese will tell you differently. You better have a bathroom around.
yeah. It's just like the part about being like a vocalist is like if I'm not healthy, I can't sing. It's not like any other sort of illness or injury that you can kind of like push through, or like you work out until you feel the pain or whatever. No, it's like if your voice is hurt, you literally can't use it. It's not like I can sing quieter at a show. It's like if my throat is injured, I can't do anything. And so a lot of that comes with like, so that's why I feel so convicted about my health, because I want to be in the healthiest place. My vocal cords are there mentally so I can write songs. I'm just trying to like
Love that. No, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think we should all be more like that.
You're both voracious learners, which is awesome too. Do you guys know love languages?
Oh yeah.
You guys know that?
Oh yeah.
What's your love language?
My love languages, which I was surprised by, because I thought it was physical touch and quality time. It's not physical touch.
Okay.
It is actually acts of service.
Really?
I love it. I love it. And this comes from growing up, because my dad is an acts of service guy. So I would do things like when I would use a car, I'd fill it up with gas. When I would be in town, I'd pick up some groceries just to make sure we had food. My dad loved that kind of stuff. If I could, I'd leave $100 bill in the drawer whenever I could. Like those kind of acts of service. And so I learned that growing up, and I didn't realize that I missed that out of a partner until I realized, I love it when Jimmy surprises me with like getting my like favorite kind of chocolate and didn't tell me, or like I don't know. I just love it so much. So yeah, acts of service. I didn't think I was that person, but I am. And quality time.
Shawn never fills up her own car either with gas. So there's that. But what's
Dirty
yours?
laundry. What is you know me better than I do.
Yeah, yours is physical touch and
affection.
No. It's the
Words
of affirmation. Physical
feel
touch
like-
and words of
Mine too, I
affirmation.
think.
I don't know why. I feel like a lot of guys are words of affirmation.
because
and-
our egos are very fragile.
That's the fishing.
Seriously.
You're fishing.
And I just did it
more
again.
words. Yeah.
I didn't even. Yeah,
Jim,
yeah.
you're doing great.
Thanks.
No, we've talked about that with other couples before. It seems like a lot of the guys say words of affirmation. A lot of the girls say physical touch or quality time. But I think you said something earlier. Most girls talk about body language. And I feel like we can have a full conversation with just your body language. Because you might be saying something to me, but if your body language is saying something completely different, I can't even listen.
Yeah.
I'm too, like, you say you're not grumpy, but your body language is grumpy, so you're grumpy. He's like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, you're grumpy. And then I probably make you grumpy.
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know. I had to go on a tangent. Sorry.
It's true though. Yeah.
I want you to share your goals that you have.
My goals.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of them. I mean, right now in my life, it's very career focused because I don't have a family yet. I do want a family.
Yeah. Jimmy looks
What?
good holding a baby.
I mean, like children.
We don't have any children.
I mean,
You have fur
I mean, I
children.
feel
Booger
like
and
your
Buddy.
focus, like we were talking, shifts once you have children, and your children become like obviously the priority, and that's what I want. But right now, it's very career. I want to, like I said, I want to write hit songs. I want to sell out stadiums. I want to win Grammys.
Yeah.
I want the, and you know what? If I shoot for it and I don't get those, it's also
You're
okay.
gonna do it.
But I want to shoot for it, and I want to go for it. And I feel like right now is the time in my life where, like, you know, I've spent 10 years building an audience on YouTube and just learning a lot about, you know, when you cover 250 songs, I could be resentful about it, but when you cover 250 songs of the biggest hits in the last 10 years, you learn a lot about what a hit song is and why a hit song is that. And then I spent 5 years in LA, like hundreds of sessions every year, just in and out of studios learning how to write a song. And so I'm glad I put myself through all that, but I feel like I'm at like the perfect place where we don't have any sort of like real attachments in the sense of like having to be in one place with children. So I can tour, I can go to China, I can do the things that I want to do right now. And so I don't know, this year I kind of like woke up and I'm like, I want to live the next 3 to 5 years of my life so unapologetically and just do everything I've ever wanted to do. And I want to set myself up in that way so that in 5 years, if it doesn't happen, I can't imagine it won't. If it doesn't happen, it's surely not because I didn't try.
Yeah.
So.
Fun fact, Madilyn is a superstar in China and France. Like #1 on the charts frequently, right?
I have been.
It's like searching for Sugar Man. Have you seen that documentary?
Yeah, I have.
But you're way cooler. What are your goals?
Oh man, yeah, mine coincide with hers a lot. Obviously, get that Grammy, and along with that, I'd like to establish myself in the music world, whether it's management, tour managing.
Hey, so a couple things might be going on tour. You want the job?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we'll do like 20 stops. So
Let's do it.
tell us where you want us to go, audience.
Andrew D, you just interrupted him.
I'm
No,
freaking
that's great.
hiring him
I don't
for
have
a tour
anything more
manager.
to say. So, was this my interview?
You passed.
Good.
Continue. Sorry.
No, that's basically it. And on the side, is like a totally different thing. I'm learning more about real estate, and I really want to get involved more than we are in real estate.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What do you consider your role in the business?
Oh man. Okay. Day-to-day manager, tour manager. I'd say production. I'd say social media I help with.
Mhm.
When I say
hats.
production, I say like recording and editing and scheduling and that kind of stuff.
I'm stressed out.
Just try to like keep everybody on the same page.
Again, you're the whole team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he just starts listing his job, and then you're like, why do they have any? Why
Yeah.
do they wonder if they're like
Yeah.
how is that second? How is that somehow like not equally, if not more important?
Exactly.
Because if no one, if you didn't sing, then I would have to, and nobody wants to hear that.
We should try.
But
You
if
know what I mean?
you didn't do
Like-
it, you did. She couldn't do what she does.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
you guys give each other jobs.
Yeah,
That's
you
cool.
you allow me to have the time to write for 8 hours a day. Like,
True.
who can say that they can write for 8 hours a day, and then you go back to work the next day and your entire business hasn't stopped? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's kinda next
crazy.
level.
yeah.
If you were gonna tell listeners to go look up one of your songs, what would it be? I have mine.
Red Ribbon.
Okay.
I'd say like a Red Ribbon. I also say be on the lookout for a song called Wisconsin.
It's amazing.
It's not out yet, but
We
it's
got
going
a
to be out
sneak
soon.
preview. It's epic.
It's amazing.
It's great.
I think Red Ribbon, when I released it last year, it changed a lot of my focus on my music, and I just didn't want to sing songs or put out music that didn't matter, that didn't have some big, like, larger conversation that was happening around it. With Red Ribbon, it was about loss and grief. I think it's a thing people just don't talk about because it's not pretty and not fun. But I saw how important it was to have that conversation, and for me to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, look, I'm struggling with my grief that I'm going through.
Yeah.
And that it's okay if you're struggling too. And it just became an open place for people to share it. And I think, especially with pain, anything emotional in life, really, it's like, if you're willing to speak about it, you can begin healing. But you can't if you're not going to talk about it. And so I think with these songs, I want to start conversations around whatever topic it is I want to talk about.
Do you think me singing a rendition of Tetris would
Oh my gosh.
help or maybe discourage people from looking it up?
Well, are you going to post it on TikTok?
Playing Tetris, bodies on a mattress.
How we fit together.
That was soft. That was my falsetto.
Okay, what was the big question you had him prep for?
The best advice, relationship or marriage advice that you've either given or you frequently give. Sorry,
Something
that
that
you've either received or you give.
Something that came to me was, and she knows exactly what I'm going to say because I shared it with her as soon as I heard it. I was working at a nursing home trying to get more patient care hours in Wisconsin, and this older couple who was still living together in the nursing home, which was beautiful, said, just be careful about what you say in heated situations because it inevitably will happen, but how you handle that situation, good or bad, will carry over to the next day, even after it's resolved. So.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Really good.
It's real.
It's hard because in heated situations, you say anything.
Yeah.
Mine just comes from my grandpa. He is an amazing person, by the way. He's a church planting pastor who just literally in his little Scooby-Doo van would drive around America just planting churches in different places. And it's just, my biggest role model for life is him. But his piece of advice for me, once we got married, he's like, Madilyn, it works until it doesn't. And he said, what I mean by that is you'll find a system, you'll put it in place, and it'll work until it stops. And then you'll have to find the next system, but you have to keep searching for the systems. But you can't expect something that worked a few years ago to continue to work now.
I really like that.
That's good.
That's really good.
It's been really helpful for us because, like, the last 5 years of us being married, even like when I think about my YouTube channel, it's just like things work until they don't, and then you figure out the next thing.
Yeah.
But I like that there's hope for figuring out the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
To your point, I've been thinking about how it's a kind of a paradox in marriage where it's the person you're most vulnerable with that allows you to be somewhat disrespectful to them sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And then also the vulnerability opens you up to like more damage, being able to hurt someone more than anyone else, like in your relationship, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So not losing that degree of respect, to your point, is crucial in arguments because there's so many decisions to figure out as a married couple, but that's something that I was challenged with. Thank you for sharing that. But
Well, and then when we were dating, it was like our second year dating. Andrew had me read this book called Meaning of Marriage. And yeah, intimidating, right? And then he didn't propose for like 2 years later. And I was like, this is really mixed signals. But it's really similar to what you said. In the book, it says that you can't expect the person you marry to be the same person your entire marriage. That's how marriages fail, is you get to this point where you're like, you've changed so much. You're not who I married. I miss that person. And that's not being fair to your significant other, because we all evolve and we all change and we go through life experiences that make us different, and you have to figure out a different system for it. Yeah. But
we really respect you guys. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I feel like it's such a weird thing that we do. I feel like it's a relatively new thing to like the history of not working together as a couple, but like the social media game where it never stops, and having friends like you who are open to sharing and discussing that with us is crucial to Shawn and I. So thank you for being those friends.
Likewise, we love and respect you guys, and thanks for having us.
okay, here's your chance. Pimp yourselves out. What's coming out? Where can people find you?
I have an album coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, Jimmy B.
No.
Don't
go for it.
Don't.
You can follow me on TikTok, Madilyn Bailey, right now.
I was about to say, don't
it
say
might switch
anything
over to
about TikTok.
Madilyn. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, follow me on TikTok so you can fulfill my dream of becoming TikTok famous.
Let me throw it up.
No, but for real. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Probably all the social medias, to be honest. If you're in China listening to this, you can follow me on all the Chinese social medias, which are not the same as the US.
Wow. And then what do they need to look forward to?
Look forward to a lot of original music coming very soon. Very excited about it. Wisconsin being the first one.
I have to say, it's really exciting seeing all of us come out, all of your original music, because what was that? How many years ago? We knew you guys, and Tetris was one of the first ones.
Playing Tetris. Papa's on the match. Should I continue?
But it's really cool to see what you've been doing, where you're going.
Thank you.
But
I'm excited.
Jimbo?
I have an Instagram. I post there probably yearly. It's called Jimbo Slice of Life. You can check it out. Yeah.
Love it.
Madilyn just hit 7 million subscribers on YouTube and got your first gold record.
First gold record.
That's freaking epic.
It's insane.
It's amazing.
Go check her out. If you want to hear the
Titanium.
voice of an angel, look her up. Anyway, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't.